to the show, everybody. We have got another great special guest this weekend. Brian, I know you're excited as I am. But before we get started, for those of you who do not know my dear friend, I would like to introduce you to Brian Kelly. I always go like this because I'm not sure what side he's on, but that way I'm covered. At any rate, I want to tell you a little bit about Brian. Brian has over 24 years of software engineering experience. He also co-owned a travel-based MLM for 6.5 years. In addition to that, he put together a Twitter program. This was about 1.5 years ago. He's kind of revamping some really cool stuff. We can't wait to share that over the next, we're talking 30 to 60 days. In addition to that, Brian is also working on a book with me. We hope to have that put out very soon. And he is also a speaker and an absolute delight to hang out with and spend every Tuesday evening with. And I could go on and on about all the wonderful things about Brian, but I'm going to stop so I don't take too much time. And you do the same with me, Brian, so we can get our special guest on tonight.
All right. Oh, please don't stop. Just keep going. It's all right. No. Thank you so much, Kathy. Wonderful, short but sweet, very sweet. Thank you so much. And my turn, I would like to introduce everyone to Kathy Stover, the wonderful co-host and co-creator of this very show, the glue that holds it all together. She is an extremely successful social media coach, an expert in the field. So if you need any additional help in getting the word out about yourself or your business through the avenue of social media and other means, she's quite diverse in her talents. Be sure to contact Kathy through the Contact Us link above that you see on this website. She's also, as we mentioned, as she mentioned, we are authoring a book together. We are budding authors, and we have both shared the stage, and we are speakers as well. So she's multi-talented, multifaceted, as stealing a word from one of our past guest speakers. She's got affiliate marketing expertise dating back to the early 90s. She's an affiliate marketing juggernaut, and I won't go any farther than that. Just trust me. She's also got network marketing experience dating back to the mid-80s, which is how we met, as a matter of fact. And she's been an operations manager and sales manager for over 25 years with a Fortune 500 company. Very impressive lineup. But like you said, Kathy, let's move forward. Let's get our wonderful guest and bring her on.
You bet. As always, you are over the top with me. Thank you so much. You know, I really appreciate that. But I do want to talk about our guest tonight. I'm not going to say her name yet. I'm just going to tell you that after graduating with a BS in Management Information Systems, now I'm going to tell you, Yancey unequivocally moved on to get an MBA in Network Security. Yancey worked as a government contractor in Hawaii for 4 years, and after reading many business books, personal development, and investing in herself, she realized she was not living passionately nor congruent with her purpose. She was trading time for dollars, and a lot of us can identify with that, and quickly noticed that success and achievement would not be reached, nor her goals and dreams, by the age of 40, let alone by the age of 65. After just 3 months of surrounding herself with mentors, coaches, and people smarter than her, she was able to quit her 9-to-5 job, buy her first home in Hawaii at the age of 25. Yancey has served on many board of directors in many organizations. Member of Fame, served as chapter president for BNI, featured in Success from Home magazine in September 2008, and featured in Performance magazine as a leader in entrepreneurship. She was also featured on the front page cover of Pacific Business News because of her unique last name and her entrepreneur story. She also was selected to be the youngest member for the NAWBO organization to coach other business owners on many different aspects in business and in life. Being the youngest mentor, Yancey quickly had to learn about certainty and empowerment to lead other phenomenal business women. She owns her own company, Empowered Presentations, with a very congruent life purpose. Yancey is a true leader in her community, enthusiastic to help people achieve anything and everything they desire. Empowered Presentations is featured in Technology News Bites Summer 2011, a local Hawaii technology magazine. Her company also serves TEDx Honolulu, where Yancey is on the executive board. Yancey is also a nominee for 40 Under 40 and Best New Business. Amazing. Yancey and Empowered Presentation won the World's Best Presentation Award in December 2010 from slideshare.net. Without further ado, Brian and I would like to welcome our very special guest, Yancey Unequivocally. Yancey, welcome to the show tonight.
Wow, Kathy and Brian, thank you so much. That was probably the best introduction that I've ever had. So thank you guys for having me on the show. And I just wanted to give you a shout out. We are actually in Honolulu, Hawaii. So I wanted to say aloha.
Aloha.
So we are ready to get started.
Let's get it started. Fantastic. From Honolulu, Hawaii, Kathy Stover from Northern California, and yours truly from Southern California. It's a wonderful live show that we can bring a guest from anywhere in the world, and it's fun. It's a lot of fun. Yancey, thank you so much for coming on the show. We have both met you in person, and you carry about you a level of integrity that really piqued an interest in both Kathy and I, and we appreciate the fact that you are gracing our screen with your presence tonight.
Thank you both. And when I met you, both of you, at the first time at Craig's event, I loved your branding. I loved your message. I loved what you were doing for the world to allow people to become celebrities on the internet. So what a great opportunity for entrepreneurs and anyone that just has that desire to reach out to the world. So it's a privilege to just be in your realm of friendship. So thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Very kind. Very kind. The title of tonight's show is Most Presentations Stink. Now, for most of us, we can kind of get an idea of what that really means, maybe what this might be about. Wanted to ask you not just what prompted you to get started in the type of business you're in, but maybe if you could briefly describe what type of business that truly is so that our viewers get kicked off in the right direction. So 2 questions. What kind of business are you engaged in, which Kathy and I know, and what got you started in this kind of business?
Great.
Well, great question. What Empowered Presentation does is I kind of have to share the story of how we got into it to kind of make sense of why we do it and what we do. So, you know, I know a lot of you out there probably have sat in a boring presentation. And by that, I mean maybe a lot of bullets, a lot of content on slides, but maybe not even that. Maybe it was the presenter, or maybe it was the information that you were getting. And in the military, I saw that a lot. We had a lot of training and a lot of boring presentations. And with Empowered Presentations, we really create a story that you can be engaging to the audience. And not only is it visuals and the content, but it's actually a story that people can get and understand. And our niche is PowerPoint and Keynote. That is what we do. And we're finding that is such a new niche because so many people are so used to doing their own presentations, their own PowerPoint, their own keynotes. And what we specialize in is we create that PowerPoint and keynote for entrepreneurs, authors, speakers, even corporations, so they don't have to spend so much time working on their presentation. Instead, they should be finding out about their audience and on the delivery of the message instead of spending hours and hours designing the presentation. So it's such a new niche. Sometimes people are like, well, I do my own presentations. Why would I need another company to do it? You'll learn more as we go on why. And the reason why we started it, Brian and Kathy, is because Corey, I'll be honest, that man has talent. And it's like sometimes you can't see what you're capable of unless the outside world shows you. So Corey has been doing presentations since he was in the military. He was a Marine. He's now a veteran, and he just loves presentations. And I saw his talent, and I said, Corey, we have got to own our own company. We have got to do this. This is a new trend. This is finally a niche that we can get into to help people be empowered by their presentations. So I mean, I can give you guys our website, empoweredpresentations.com, but I want to give you guys some tips and some value, and we have some amazing questions for you. So Brian and Kathy, back to you. Thank you.
You know, I was going to say, Brian and I have both had the privilege to see the kind of work that you guys put together live probably 3 times now. Absolutely amazing. And you know, when you think about it, we've got this kind of set up on our computer. Most of us do programs where we can do PowerPoint presentations, and they have all the, the gizmos and stuff, whatever you want to call it, that you can put in there. But let me tell you, what you guys do which is over and beyond the tools that are provided in that way, like you're saying, the creativity of Corey and the things that you guys put together is absolutely phenomenal. So what I want to ask is this: is a PowerPoint presentation only for speakers, or can it be utilized for other individuals in other ways as well?
That's a great question, and you're going to find this answer a lot. I'm going to say it depends. I found a lot of speakers, they don't need PowerPoint, and actually if they had PowerPoint, it wouldn't be congruent with the audience. So the key is number one, really know your audience. You're there to provide value to the audience, and if you know your content well enough and it's not a visual presentation, no, do not use PowerPoint and Keynote. Absolutely not. But if your presentation is highly visual and you need those visuals to connect with the audience, absolutely, it's a must to have a PowerPoint. But it has to be a highly visual PowerPoint, not a lot of bullets or content and text. So it's kind of a broad range. I can't really say yes or no, but to boil it down, no, it's not just for speakers, because you can create even a resume on PowerPoint or Keynote. So instead of doing a normal CV or your resume, now it's a little different. So do your research on the companies, because if you're too outside the box, they may not pick you. So again, it depends. But you can create, and actually Corey and I are creating our visual resumes right now. We're going to post it up on our website within the next few weeks. And it's it's going to be really cool. It's just the visual of our story. And yes, I have my degrees, but let's make that fun. So it's going to be very creative. And Corey actually used to create PowerPoints for his son while Corey was in Iraq. He used to send the ABCs in a presentation to connect with his son while he was at war. Isn't that amazing?
Neat.
So yeah, so you can be really creative and make it fun. It's not just for speakers. You can go, like I say your grandmother's turning 100 years old or 80, whatever it is, for a birthday party. Create a cool slideshow and have that at the family reunion or at the birthday party. So the answer is no, it's not just for speakers.
Well, that's perfect, because my mom is getting ready to, sorry Mom, if you're listening, she is getting ready to turn 80.
Congrats.
So what a cool idea that is. But the other thing that I wanted to just slide in here is, you've been talking about Corey a lot, and both Brian and I do know who Corey is. Would you mind sharing with those who may not know who he is? Who is he?
Thank you. Corey, he's kind of the behind-the-scenes guy in our company. He's actually the CEO and the founder, and I'm the president and founder. And he always says, have you guys seen Pinky and the Brain? So I'm Pinky and he's the brain. That's what he always says. But Corey, his background, he was actually a Marine, and he went to four colleges. So he was on his way to get his PhD. So instead of his PhD, he did get a PhD, but his public high school diploma. And he's just a phenomenal gentleman. He's so kind. He has a lot of integrity. He's a great analyzer, and he's actually my partner as well. So not only are we business partners, but we're life partners, and you guys have got to meet him, because he always says, why do you have so many more friends than me on Facebook? And it's because he doesn't get out there and speak. So you'll hardly ever see him, but you'll see me. So I know Kathy and Brian, where was Corey at when you guys saw him at Craig's event? He was behind the laptop, right?
Yep, the whole time, sitting with a computer.
Yeah, so he's definitely the introvert. I'm the extrovert, but he's definitely an amazing soul. I actually call him my Yoda. He has so much wisdom, and he provides such highest value to human beings.
Yeah, and Kathy and I met him briefly, and he's definitely that. He's integrity based. We hit it off immediately because he's kind of a techie like I am, and it's like, all right, techies unite. But I wanted to really quickly put in there a big heartfelt thank you to both of you for serving our country. I have a very soft spot in my heart for everyone who does that. Thank you so very much for serving this great country of ours and putting yourself out there like you both did. I appreciate that very, very much.
Well, you're welcome, and I'll pass that on to Corey, because I was just DOD, but I still served in a way. I served the soldiers, because without serving them, I couldn't have served the country. But definitely Corey went to war, so I will give him that.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
And thank everyone else for listening.
Yes.
That served, yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Everybody. Now, presentations are very graphical. They can be anyway. They're very information rich, or they can be anyway, depending on who put them together and how they were presented. But would you say that presentations can be used as, or are, a form of branding for a company?
That's another great question. I'm going to say that your presentation is an extension of your brand.
Very good.
Yeah, and I can tell you, we have a lot of clients that when I go to their website and then they'll send me their presentation, it's not congruent. Their website is their brand and their colors, but then their presentation has, totally different branding and different theme and different feel and look, and it's just not congruent. And when you're out there delivering your message, we feel that incongruency, and you're going to leave some money on the table if you don't have an extension of your brand instilled in your presentation. And, I have actually an example of that. You guys, maybe he's listening, Craig DeSwalt. So we go to his event, and he's this rock star branding coach, right? And we look at his presentations, we're like, Craig, this is not a rock star presentation. It's just a message, nothing bad or good. It's just he didn't know. What we do is so new. It's the don't know that you don't know. And he finally said, fine, you guys can do our presentations. So we got a hold of him, and you guys can see the difference, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to interject on that. A couple of boot camps ago, not this last one, but the one prior, he was still using his original set, I believe, that he or someone he had put together, and they were okay. I mean, there was nothing horrible about them. But then the next time we went, I did not know this. I don't know if Kathy knew that you guys, you and Corey, had put together his presentation, and it jumped off of the screen to me personally, and Kathy as well. And I went to Craig at one of the breaks. I said, Craig, you have redone your PowerPoint, and it's gorgeous, and it fits, and it flows. It's perfect. And he pointed, yeah, those guys, Yancey and Corey, did that. I said, you're kidding. That is incredible. It was obvious, immediately obvious, that something big had been done. It was a total transformation in a very, very positive way. So kudos. Great job on what you guys did with his stuff. And I understand you're doing it again.
Yeah, so we get to see again. What they've got coming up next week.
Yeah, we're excited. And again, that just goes to the theme. So you felt it, Kathy and Brian. You felt the different energy about it, the congruency, the feeling of it. And it was just fixing of some, it was his presentation. It was the same content, same flow. We just made it even better.
Yeah.
So the message of his brand, the rock star brand, has to be congruent. And he is definitely a rock star in this industry. So we're excited to see you guys.
We are too. I can't believe it's just, a little over a week away.
Yeah.
I know.
Not much. It's going to be fun. 5 days of pure fun.
I know. It's amazing.
We just kind of touched on this a little bit about how important the look and the feel is to the overall presentation. And with that being said, what we've been talking about is by having it flow and congruent, that's going to contribute to the overall success. So that's why we need to have people like you who are professional, who have the eye, who have that fluidity for what it is that we do in our businesses, and put that together. So without an individual or a company like yours, we're not going to have that type of success. Would you agree with that?
I'm gonna say definitely yes, obviously, because it's our company, and I can tell you what Corey has learned. He has about 10 years of experience, so like I can give you tools and tips and stuff to do, but you're not gonna get it like that. This is a long process to learn. Just like you, Brian, being an engineer, and you, Kathy, it's not an overnight success. So
Sure.
yes, absolutely. I recommend outsourcing it, because most people spend 90% of the time designing their presentation. That's
Right.
a lot of time, and that's just putting the bullets and the templates and rearranging the flow.
Yep.
So can you imagine if you leverage a company like us or other companies out there, how much time you can have to really learn about the audience, to really find out how to connect with the audience? What are their needs? What are their struggles, challenges? What can you provide value to? And work on your delivery rather than putting so much time on your presentation. So yes, Kathy, definitely get out there, get educated, hire Empowered Presentations if you want. We would love to.
Well,
But
the
it
thing
takes
about
so
it is
much
we
time.
outsource so many things. This would be a perfect thing to outsource and have done professionally, so that it adds to what our business and our brand is. If
Yep,
you have a really,
absolutely.
in my mind, if you've got a great product going, or you have a great stage presence going, to have something professionally put together by someone like you and your company is going to stand out even more.
Yeah.
So I think it's fabulous.
Yeah, no
I
doubt. We
agree.
saw it again. We saw it at Craig's event, just night and day. And I'm not in any way putting bad words toward the prior developer whoever put that together, because not everybody can do what you and Corey have done, Yancey, and that's a testament to you as a company and individuals, that what you're doing. Real quick, I want to make a shout out that everyone watching this show either live or later at a recording time, don't do it now, but you can click on Yancey's nose right above us, that still picture, not the one where she's moving right now beneath us. But click on her nose. That will take you to her Facebook page and get connected with her there on a personal level, more personal level. And beneath us, you will see a banner, an image, and click on that. That will take you to their company site, Empowered Presentations. You just click on that. It'll take you right there, so we don't need to type in empoweredpresentations.com or anything. Just click on it and it shoots you right there. But again, don't do that till after the show, but definitely do it. We'll remind you one more time near the end so you don't forget, because what they offer is truly fabulous, and I can attest to the amount of time it takes. I have done so many of these, I can't tell you, in the corporate world, and boy, are they, number one, boring. Number two, they take forever to put together. Like you said, if you're doing it on your own, you can only imagine how many engineers and non-artist types are putting this stuff together. Boy, I've seen some really horrible ones, and I've seen some decent ones, but yours are off the charts. There's no comparison whatsoever. Got a question on kind of on that note, because I know as an engineer, I'm always trying to be, do everything the most efficient way possible, use as little as possible, that kind of thing. So does it really matter how many slides in total a presentation has? Is that important?
Actually, this is a great time to show a video that I sent you, Brian. If you could turn that on. This is just a short, I think it's 3 to 4 minutes, not even that long. But it's really going to give you another insight about truly how many slides that are or are not necessary. And we'll touch a little bit more after the video shows. So Brian, is that okay if we can show that?
Yeah, that sounds great. So I'll play the video and we will come right on its heels. We'll be right back. Watch this video.
Most presentations stink, just like this skunk. And what amateurs try to do is cover it up with excessive bullets, crazy animations, and boring templates. But it is still a skunk. Introducing Connect 4, a presentation strategy. Have you ever played this game before? If you haven't a clue, you can go to Amazon.com. It's $21.99. Add it to your shopping cart, and you're well on your way. The rules of the game: the presenter versus the audience. The first one to Connect 4 wins the game. If you do not, you as a presenter may lose credibility. You also may lose influence. You can lose the audience, and most importantly, potential sales. Now that everyone is on the same page on how to play the game Connect 4, before you even present, remember these 4 key things. F stands for fun. Fun is contagious. The opposite of fun is unfun. Now, I know if you've been in an unfun presentation, it's not much fun for you. But even as a presenter, if you make it fun, it's much more powerful. And when you have fun, it does not lead the audience to texting, boredom, and even falling asleep. And we all know as a presenter, when people fall asleep in the audience, that's not fun. The next key to remember is O. O stands for organize. Organize your presentation so that all your ducks are in a row. Because if they're not, your presentation will look disorganized and you will feel disorganized. The next key is U. Utilize tools such as Keynote and PowerPoint. Many presenters still use excessive bullet points and think that by having all of their content on one slide works, resulting in the audience being bored and wanting to ask for their money back, which results in a bad PowerPoint. Here's one key that you can remember when creating your presentation. Keep it one bullet per slide. Not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7, not 8, not 9, not 10, not even 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, not 17. One bullet per slide. Clip art is dead. Here are some examples of dead clip art. So remember, do not use clip art. No templates. Now, if you're on the phone and you're in a corporation, it may be hard to not use templates because that's the norm. But this is an example of a bad template. It constricts the area of the slide. It's not much creativity, and it leads to confusion. So no templates. This is probably my favorite point. Slides are free. It does not matter how many slides you have. It is how you use them. Period. You could have 10 slides or 300 slides. It does not matter. Just make it to where the audience can connect with your message and it's purposeful. A poor presenter with poor slides equals a poor presentation. A good presenter with great slides equals a good presentation. Great presenter with good slides equals a good presentations. But don't you want to be a great presenter with great slides leading in a great presentation? And that's what we do at Empowered Presentations. We get you in the green. We give you a great PowerPoint presentation. The last tool to remember is R. R stands for rehearse, rehearse, and did I mention rehearse? You can rehearse in front of your spouse. You can even rehearse in front of your pets. You can rehearse in front of your stuffed animals, and even in front of yourself. This is the main key. Whatever you do, don't wing it. And on the big day, remember these 4 things. 4, connect 4. Fun, organize, utilize, and rehearse before you end up like this. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys for sharing that.
That was very well done.
I wanted to reiterate on the slides. It doesn't really matter how many slides you have because it depends.
Right.
It depends on what your purpose of the presentation is. Are you doing an informational presentation? Are you doing a book selling presentation? Are you just giving a lot of graphs and charts? Whether it's an investor presentation, it just really depends. But the main thing is, remember, don't try to put everything on one slide. Put 1 point per slide. And I actually have a tip on how to do that. This is actually how Corey and I storyboard. We take, do I have one right here? We take these right here, Post-it notes. Wow. So say we want to talk about, we want to do something on smoking. We would just do smoke as the title. and then we would put maybe one statistic about smoking. So one in every 10 smoke, whatever the statistic is. So 1 point on the Post-it notes. And then what you can do is you can storyboard that on a whiteboard, on a chalkboard, on your wall, on your dog's head. It doesn't matter. Just have fun with it. Make a story. You're just brainstorming what your presentation could be. That's actually how we came up with smoke. My father passed away when I was very young, and he was only 44. He passed away of lung cancer. And I said, what a cool way that we could design a presentation. You know, we're not advocates about people not smoking or smoking. We don't have an opinion. It's just, how do we enter this SlideShare contest that's not about us and that could really impact the world? That's about the world, about empowering others, influencing others. So that's why we came up with the smoke presentation, and we won. So what if you could use those, do exactly what we did to create that presentation? That's exactly what we're teaching you today. Now, this is probably a 3-day workshop, all the stuff that we teach. But just start with the Post-it note and put 1 point per Post-it note. And then once you brainstorm that, you can transfer it to one white slide. And I will repeat. I know PowerPoint and Keynote has the text box and insert your text here in the template. Try to just start with a white blank slide, a white piece of paper, because I can tell you your creativity comes out. More systems can be placed when it's just created from scratch. Your mind just starts coming up with so many ideas. And Craig taught us this, actually go in the shower, not in front of the internet, to get ideas. So just get the Post-it notes, put the points on there, and start brainstorming your presentation. And remember, it does not matter how many slides you have. It just depends on how much time you have. So obviously you can't do 300 slides if you're only talking for 3 minutes. But look at that video that we just saw. Did you guys notice how many slides it has?
A lot.
It has almost 100 slides.
Wow.
It has 95.
Gosh, I would not have guessed it was
No.
that many.
100 slides. And it was engaging. It was visual. I do that in front of an audience. That was just over the recording. But I think that's actually a good topic to the next question. So I'll hold on those comments. But I hope you guys know that it does not matter how many slides there are. It's just how you use them.
Just to be clear on that, the answer to does it matter how many slides someone uses in a presentation is unequivocally no, correct?
That is correct. Unequivocally, absolutely no. I love it. Thank you, Brian.
You know, the thing that I wanted to ask is it important to have a combination of verbiage and pictures? Or can you have just, you know, a lot of pictures and a little bit of verbiage, or a lot of words and no pictures? What's the call there?
Are you ready for the answer?
Ready.
Yep.
It depends. Okay, so if you notice on that video, there was pictures plus text. And the reason why I did text is because I wasn't in front of the audience presenting. That was just a visual. So and even though I was saying what was on the PowerPoint, or actually that one was in Keynote, I wanted to connect with the viewers online. So you have the kinesthetic people, you have the auditorial people, you also have the how did I forget the kinesthetic is the feeling, auditorial, and the visual people. So when you're presenting, just make sure you're hitting all of those personalities. So to answer the question, I'm just gonna say it depends. But if say you're in an audience of a lot of engineers, most of them they need information, they need content, they need text. Not so much as visual, but they like bar graphs and charts, right, Brian?
Yes, they do. I'm one of those weirdos. I like the graphics, but most of them want the data.
Yeah, they like the data and the analysis, paralysis, and all that. No, I'm just kidding. But the point is, it really just depends on the audience. But if we look back with the projector that you just stuck the film in, the white, what do you call those? Sorry, I'm 29 years old, so I'm trying to remember the slides that you actually put in the projector.
Yeah, slide.
And and it's just the visual. That's all it is. And look how engaging the movies were, and how People were just excited with not much text.
Right.
So just keep it simple. If you can do without text, I recommend it, especially if you're in front of the audience saying it anyways. But if you have a graph or the analytics like we were talking about, have the graph up there, but keep it simple, because a confused mind does nothing. If they're having to look all over the slide and look the point that you're talking about, it's going to confuse them, and your message is not going to be conveyed the way that you want the listener to be conveyed as. So just keep it simple, and if you can do just pictures, that would be great. But if you need the words, put the words on there.
Excellent.
I thought it was a great tip with the sticky notes. I like that. How nice to be able to move them around and put it on a whiteboard. That's fantastic. What a great tip. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, you're welcome. And we do that with all of our clients if they need us to. Most of our clients, they have a current presentations, but we still want to storyboard it and rearrange the flow and really get it to where it's impacting their audience. So I'm glad I could share that tip with you guys.
Now, you sent us another short video. Did that one also pertain to pictures and words? Is that on the same topic?
Yep. So you want to go ahead and show that one?
Yeah, why don't we roll that, because people are going to get a better understanding of what you're saying, not only by watching the one we just saw, but this one as well, and they can see a little bit of variation. Very well done. So yeah, let's switch over to that real quick.
People out there.
Pardon?
I said, especially for the visual people out there. See?
Love it.
That would
All right, here we go. We're going to move over to that video real quick, and we'll be right back.
All right.
Before you open your mouth, 4 presentation pet peeves every presenter should follow. Everyone has something to say. Unless, of course, you are this guy. Not everyone knows how to say it. Some say way too much. Some say too little. Some are scared to say anything. Some don't even know what to say. You deserve to be heard. You have a message no one else has, unless someone else does have that same message. Not saying, just saying. When delivering your next message, sales pitch, presentation, promotion, or even a resume, remember these key things. Know your audience, because if you do not, you may be wasting your breath. Do not say what you want to say. Like, oh my God, what is that guy talking about? For reals, I have no idea, whatever. Instead, say what they want to hear. Like, how can I buy those shoes? Where can I get my hair done? Who sells that new cell phone? When can I rent my own place? If you do this, you will gain your audience's attention. Remember to be you, not this guy, or this guy, or this guy. Well, you might be saying, why not? Because they are being themselves. Sort of. Dummy down. Not you, your presentation. So a 10-year-old can understand it. Limit the use of unnecessary numbers, irrelevant statistics, confusing charts and graphs, because they don't care. Keep your message easy and clear to understand. What they care about is how your message will benefit them. It's all about them. Maybe how can they make more money, save more time, and possibly change their lives. And never, never, never forget to dress the part. For example, if you're in LA, or if you're in Hawaii, or if you're in India, even if you're in China, and if you're in space, you must remember to dress the part. So remember, know your audience, be you, dummy down, and dress the part. Don't get caught with your pants off. Now go and open your mouth. These are just 4 tips. So until next time, thank you very much.
Well done.
So what did you guys
again.
think?
That was great. I love the visual, along with your explanation. But I was looking at the bubbles. I guess is that what you would call them?
Yeah, what they're thinking, bubbles.
Right. Yeah. Very cute. I like that. It really told a story.
Mm-hmm. And so to comment on, I think the question was, would you say it's a combination of pictures and words? So
Right.
again, it really just depends if the audience knows the content, if they don't, if you're doing a webinar or a presentation on an iPad, it really just depends. But I can give you an example. This is the one I give to our clients. If I say, think of the word chair, you don't actually picture CHAIR.
Right.
You actually picture a chair. Human beings are very visual. They're going to imagine pictures, and even data will be created into a visual. So you want to remember that about your audience. Visual, if you can put as many visuals and less words, they're going to connect at a different level that you would expect them to. And that's all we want as a presenter. And maybe you're doing an investor presentation or a corporate presentation. You can still be visual and have content. Just make it appropriate for the audience. And like I mentioned in the video, it's about the audience. It's about them, not really you. And so many people use the presentation as a crutch. Don't use it as a crutch. Use it for the audience. And just do some research and just really get engaged into this. It's a process. It's a story. It's fun. And I guess it's easier for me to say that because it's my passion. Many of you on here are like, what? I can't stand PowerPoint. It drives me crazy. Well, it's our passion. We love to make stories out of it.
Yeah, I was going to say, instead of going through the headache of doing it yourself, to go through you guys,
Well, thank you. Yeah, definitely. And we have a pretty high turnaround too. We just have fun doing it. You're going to have fun if you do decide to consult with us, because that's the rule number one, is to have fun. Remember the first video?
Yes.
Now, the next topic I'd like to go discuss, and this one I'm really excited to get your answer on this one. We have not rehearsed any of these questions, but this one I'm really interested in, because we, Kathy and I, and you probably, have seen this bantering about between two individuals on stage, one being Craig Duswalt, the other one being Tom Antion, about PowerPoint, and specifically PowerPoint. And you talk about the other version for the Mac. What would you call it again? It was
Keynote.
Keynote. And for those that are watching, Keynote is the Mac version, quote unquote, of PowerPoint, which is utilized on a PC. But Tom has actually a website. I think it's called PowerPoint Stinks or something like that, .com. And
Yep.
Craig uses PowerPoint exclusively, well, not completely and totally, but a lot. And so the question is, what would you say the percentage of success in a speaking engagement would be using a PowerPoint or Keynote-like presentation versus not using one at all?
Okay, that is a great point. So I want to back up a little bit.
Okay.
Tom Antion, phenomenal social networker, great guy. He's all about giving.
Yes.
The reason why he has that, and it's not because really PowerPoint stinks, because PowerPoint does. And I'll tell you why. It's because it puts the template there. It conforms you to put bullets and stuff. But it's really a high controversial topic. So he's an internet marketer, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to get the highest topics that are hot. And you can Google PowerPoint, and I think there's about 1 million a day of people Googling PowerPoint. So, ching ching, like his dial tone, his sound that he does. Of course he's going to have that website, because he can make money from that, because it's controversial. If I go get the top news and get that website domain, people are going to come there all the time. It's kind of the SEO background. So yeah. He really does. He uses PowerPoint, Tom Antion, for on his boot camps that he does. So he on Thursday nights he'll actually show a PowerPoint. And it's just quick and it's visuals. So I know it's a controversial topic, and I'm going to say it really depends. Because do you guys remember Glenn Morshower?
Yes.
Yes.
If he would have had a PowerPoint, it would have blown his whole connection.
Yes, it would have.
Yeah.
Right.
It just depends on what you're trying to deliver. Like Glenn was a phenomenal inspirational speaker. He just didn't need a PowerPoint. Tom Ancion didn't need a PowerPoint because all he does is internet marketing. So he just shows his website domain and case studies of the websites and his bank account screenshots, even though he has some pictures on his PowerPoint that we would love to help him do. And again, it just really depends. So just know your audience and be careful, because you can really ruin a presentation with the PowerPoint, especially a stinky one. Sorry. And Craig, actually, we have gotten him to use Keynote this time, because that's our favorite. So you'll see a Keynote presentation this time, not PowerPoint. So he's actually converged over to Keynote. Yay! So we're excited about that. I guess you didn't know that, Brian. But we like both. It just depends on what the client needs. If they're not familiar with Keynote, like they're like, what's that one for Apple? We would use PowerPoint. But if they have an Apple and they don't know what Keynote is, of course we'll recommend it. But it just depends on what font they're going to use or what the purpose is. As a matter of fact, we try to use Keynote first because we're Mac users, and then we'll just convert it to PowerPoint. So there's ways to use both, and we're a fan of both depending on what the client wants. We just feel that Keynote to us has more fluent animations, and it just tends to have less problems when we work with our design aspect than PowerPoint. But again, it depends on the project that you're trying to do. So I'm just kind of on the fence about it. Sorry, I can't really answer that. It's either or.
Let me ask you this. If you have speaking engagements or you're doing online presentations, so you can hire your services to put together this type of PowerPoint for online presentations as well, right? So,
yeah, absolutely.
So is it okay to use the same, I know you're talking about redoing the one and doing it in Keynote for Craig this time, but is it okay to use the same presentation over and over again, or would you suggest maybe changing some of the slides up, to make it fresh and new? What's your thoughts there?
Good question.
Yeah, that's a great question, and I'm going to say it's always good to update and be fresh on your presentation, but I'm also going to say if you have an awesome presentation that you can use over maybe the time frame of 3 months to 6 months and it works for your audience, don't change it. My mom always taught me, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But I do believe, Kathy, in being fresh and getting new information, and maybe you have a new case study or a new testimonial or a new story that you want to add to the presentation. You can always go back and add rather than change and rework the whole thing. So some of our clients will ask us that. They'll be like, well, I had this current presentation I did 2 years ago. And I'm thinking, well, 2 years ago, that's a long time ago. There's probably some new stuff. But the cool thing is we just added and changed a little bit. But I can say this is one thing that I think will be very helpful to this question. If you're doing a webinar and then you're also going to do a live presentation, the webinar presentation, and if you guys notice, I'll use presentation because we do both PowerPoint and Keynote. So I wanted to make that clear. That's why I use presentation, because we're not favor over any one or the other. Mm-hmm. But most people are familiar with PowerPoint. Right. But if you're doing a webinar versus a live presentation, the webinar might not need as high as quality resolution pictures versus when you're presenting in front of a room with 300 people. It also depends on what type of projector that you have, what laptop it's going to be running on, the lighting in the room, the way that the audience is sitting. So I'm going to go with probably no, you don't want to use the same one over and over again, because your environment is always going to change. Your audience is always going to change. Someone told me, I don't remember where it was, but we're changing every 28 days in the whole world, whether it's technology, the medical field, fashion. We're constantly changing. So just really be good on updating your information about what you know and your presentation, and just make it fresh. I like that, Kathy. Make your content fresh. So I hope that answered it. Again, there goes the it depends. So sorry, that's all. It depends.
No, it really did. But you know what? Something that you said really sparked something that we had not talked about before, and that is you mentioned testimonials.
Yeah.
So just I just want to throw this in here really quick. Would you say that it's important to include testimonials within a presentation?
I'm going to say yes, but it depends on where you put it. And I'll tell you why. I've been in a lot of boot camps, seminars, all kinds of stuff. I'm like a seminar junkie. I love to learn and grow constantly. And sometimes you can walk in a room and there'll be testimonials playing over the audio, or the presenter comes up and says, "Hi, I'm blah, 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 and my company is blah, 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 and we do blah, 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 blah." I'm going to say, do not start off with about us,
right,
what we do. And if you notice, when you kind of asked me that the first question, I was a little like, oh, I don't want this to be about us. I want to just deliver value and share what I know. But it's kind of a learning curve, what we're going through in the shift in the universe. There's so many canned sales trainings, and not that one's right or wrong or better than the other. It's just it's the don't know that we don't know it, to how to really engage your audience and present. And it's testimonials are very important, I will say, because people want to know your credibility. What have you done? You're this Yahoo telling me you know how to create PowerPoints. Well, tell me more. Why do you create awesome PowerPoints? Well, we have testimonials. Look at Craig DeSwald, and we have a handful of clients that we can give you a testimonial. But the point is, it depends on where you're going to put that. I recommend putting on your website, of course, because people are going to, the first thing when you meet someone, they're going to go Google you. So make sure, if you haven't Googled yourself, go Google yourself and make sure you have some awesome testimonials on there. That's rule number one. And then also some case studies. Put that on your portfolio of testimonials that you have empowered and changed their lives, because people want to know where they are now and what you can do to bring them to where they want to be. We call it the what is to what could be. And it's definitely important to have testimonials. So I don't know if we can go on. We don't have much time to go into detail of where they should be and where they not should be. But again, just get consulting from the experts that know where they should be, because you can turn people off with testimonials.
Mm-hmm. And that, Kathy,
well,
that was
thanks.
That was an exceptional question. And we've seen, you and I, Kathy, have seen both extremes on that. We saw one individual, this is during a presentation, and it's time to sell the product. And I think that's a good time to do the testimonials, to really emphasize that there's a lot of value in the product and you have real people that have actually used it and speak highly of it. But we had one individual go up with a piece of paper on the stage and read the testimonials to us. I couldn't believe this was happening.
Odd.
And this is after a very elaborate, nice PowerPoint-based presentation was going on. She chose to go with this piece of paper, probably handwritten. I don't know. It might have been typewritten, but I was like, you've got to be kidding me. And then you fast forward to Tom Antion, who has videos, which I think are the most powerful, especially in this type of avenue where you're up speaking live on a stage with something shining on a screen, where you have people with audio and video. Now you got their facial expressions, their voice inflections, everything. It's not just words up on a screen that you have to read or someone read to you. I would think I found that extremely effective, the way Tom did it. So you have both extremes, I think, Kathy. And no testimonials, I think, would be hurtful if you're selling something. If you don't have any, I guess you're stuck. But if you do, definitely, I would think you'd want to use those if you are selling something in your presentation. This is my 2 cents.
Yeah, definitely if you're selling something, and those were great examples. But if you're just giving information, you might not want a testimonial. Right. So again, it just really depends. And those were great examples, and I've experienced that as well.
Yeah, if it were an information-only presentation, that would pretty much be kind of like puffing yourself up in front of everybody. Look at me, I'm awesome, and I'm providing you information. Yeah. That wouldn't go over too good. But, if you're into ego boosting of yourself, that's what you do.
Well, a good thing with a testimonial is don't have the testimonial come from you.
Right.
Have someone else do the testimonial, because that's kind of like talking about yourself,
exactly.
Reading off a paper saying, I did this and this is a testimonial. It's better to have the authenticity of it coming from someone else.
And that was the added power with what Tom did. It was all recorded videos of the actual customers that did those videos for him, and he played them all back one by one. And he would interject things, stop, and then he would play a few more. You weren't just sitting there for minutes on end watching all these testimonial videos. He did a great job. He's an excellent speaker.
Yeah.
Yes. My goodness, we are pushing toward the end here. I don't like that.
Yeah.
But this could probably kind of wrap it up here a little bit. Would you say a great PowerPoint or keynote presentation would give you an edge over your competition? The key being there, your competition. Do you think it could give you an edge over your competition by having a well-designed, well-thought-out electronic presentation?
I'm going to say unequivocally yes.
All right.
And the reason why is there's like a wave of crappy presentations. And if you could just make one little change, you can really ride that wave and set yourself apart. And as you guys experienced when we did Craig's PowerPoint, it's a different emotion. It's different engagement of the audience. And you're going to leave money on the table if you don't have your extension of your brand, you don't have the presentation flowing right, and it's congruent with the audience. So yes, I really think that you can set yourself apart by having an empowering presentation.
Beautiful. Brian just said it a couple of seconds ago. We are sliding right into our hour.
Goodness.
And it happens every week, way before we want that to transpire. Got to tell you that it was an absolute delight meeting you guys, and I think it was like about the spring of last year. So I think that's when we first met you and Corey. You're absolutely wonderful individuals. Your company and what you put together, your professionalism, your integrity and character is just so eminent when you meet the two of you. It has been a pure delight. We look forward to seeing you next week. Can't believe it's coming so quickly. But I just want to tell you from the bottom of my heart, Nancy, thank you so much for putting together what you did and gracing and honoring us by sharing what you do on our show. I'm going to turn it back over to Brian.
And I have to say it's been unequivocally a delight to have you on our show, Yancy. We really appreciate you coming on. I like to basically steal everything Kathy said and just repeat what Kathy said in that place. But awesome, wonderful having you on. We greatly appreciate everything you're doing, and Corey. Shout out to Corey as well. One more reminder for everyone watching this live, be sure after the show's over to click on her nose above us to go to our Facebook page, click on the like button, get connected, and also click on the banner beneath and get more information on what these two fantastic individuals do, because it literally put we know Craig up one notch more than he was the prior time. He's phenomenal, great marketing. He's a genius at marketing, but this just added to it was more interesting. The whole presentation was more engaging because it was so visual, because you didn't have to read as he read to us. It was just fantastic. You guys do great work. We want to thank you so much, Yancy, for coming on. And unfortunately, we are at the end of our time here. But we would like to invite everybody to come back in 2 weeks' time. If you want a reminder, just click on the register link above and enter your email and name in there, and we will send you an automated reminder of when that next show is and who's going to be on it, etc. It costs nothing to do so. Again, thank you, Yancy, and everyone for viewing. We appreciate you, and we value your time. So we are going to sign off, and we will see you in 2 weeks' time. Alrighty. Good night now.
All right. Good night, everybody.